In the time it's taken a graduating senior to go from kindergarten to 12th grade, 111 kids have been shot and killed in Oakland. More than 1,200 have been wounded. Much of the city's violence is concentrated in a few high-crime neighborhoods, like the one surrounding Community United Elementary School at International and 66th Avenue in East Oakland.
This is our neighborhood. There are 6 schools all within walking distance here, and there are so many lockdowns that happen, so many shootings that happen, so much gang violence. The worst was this year when we had a lockdown at 3 o'clock and we could hear the gunshots. 8 or 9 shots. That was the worst. All of my kids know, as soon as you hear a gunshot, face down on the ground, don't move until an adult tells you to or until there's no more shots.
In Marisa Morales' first year teaching in Oakland, one of her 3rd grade students, Jacqueline Funes, was shot in the neck while playing outside of her house, just a few blocks from school.
I kind of knew that something like this could happen. I knew that the area that I'm in, where I work, is super violent. I know that there was a gang war happening. I knew all that stuff was happening. I just didn't expect it to happen in my first year. Scholars, please be safe. The reality was, it was my first year teaching. I was still an intern teacher. I was trying to finish my master's program. I didn't know that I was going to make it through the rest of the year. It was devastating. I didn't really have time to process how I was being affected, but I knew that my students were being affected. That was really difficult to know that one of their classmates was injured. Some of them had seen it on the news. There was a lot of questions, kind of not understanding. Everybody was just shocked.
After Jacqueline was shot, Morales says the effect on her students' ability to learn was obvious.
It was definitely difficult for a lot of students to concentrate in class. I had one student who just kind of broke down in tears a couple of times, so she was really upset. So this is what it's gonna do. You can pick up your book. I want you to read. Wait. Hold on, look at me. Sometimes the tears just want to come out. That leads to students trying to read, but not being able to focus on the words. So they just sit there and they stare at a book and they're trying so hard, but they can't. I see a pencil, I should go in the lost and found. I see a sticky note. It's hard to teach kids in general. It's hard to teach. Teaching is very difficult. It's an extra step to teach kids how to interact with each other. The difference with teaching in a high crime area or a high violence area is that violence is just sort of the way that you deal with things. It's an everyday thing. We say, well, you know, at school we don't solve our problems with violence, but everywhere else you solve your problems with violence. So there's no advantage to learning how to talk things out.
Oakland Unified School District estimates that half of all Oakland students will need therapy or counseling at some point during their school years. That's more than double the national estimate.
I think that O.U.S.D, though, is doing so much right now to try to help us and to try to support us. It's just a drop in the bucket. Thank you, Darian.